Hey guys, Aggie K, Wealth Therapist, hopping on for a live stream today about the vow of never looking foolish. And if you've come across this, let me know if this is a vow you feel like you've taken unconsciously about never looking foolish. Let me know in the comments because it's very, very common. Just me and Babs. And I'm anticipating something, incredibly foolish happening to me on this live stream. As I was setting up, I was thinking, probably something foolish is going to happen to me as I do this live stream on the topic, but maybe not. Let's see. I did burn my forehead a little bit, curling my hair. So that's number one. What is going on with this vow of foolishness and how can it be a block to fans, followers, and financials? So what's going on here really in the subconscious? Subconsciously, you could have taken the vow to never be wrong, to never look dumb, to never look stupid or silly or make mistakes. And this can really block you because it can send you into this realm of pretending to be, right? And it can be very difficult to manifest from, and to not just manifest, but just mindset wise to call in the clients and the money that you want when you're in the zone of pretending to be. Okay. So you want to take a look at this because it's a block to feeling relaxed, and a huge part of making money, especially as we get into the higher realms, when you're not willpowering stuff anymore, when you're not pushing things up a hill and you're looking at those 10 to 30K months, is that you have to be able to deeply relax about who you are and what you do. And if you've taken this vow of never looking foolish, you've essentially also killed some part of your magical part of you, right? Your magical spirit, you're allowed to make mistakes, your messiness, your disorganizedness. And I'm not saying you need to be disorganized about money, but I'm saying you need to be human about how you show up. And a part of that is just allowing yourself to the freedom to make mistakes. And if you can allow yourself the freedom to make mistakes because the stakes were too high at some point in your life to make mistakes, usually during your childhood, you want to take a look at that. You want to take a look at what you're creating now because you want to get out of this place of who you're pretending to be, right? And when we're not allowed to be imperfect, really that's what that vow is about. It's like a vow of not, just allowed to be relaxed, allowed to be imperfect, and still be successful and still know your stuff and still stand in the truth of who you are. That means we're not really being who we are, right? We're pretending to be. We're pretending to be a certain image, which it can be really hard to call in clients or money or followers or fans when we're not being real. It's hard to do that from a persona. In my experience, that's been the case, is that or you attract a certain kind of thing by pretending to be, and it's usually not the person you want to be. I kind of love that Barbara Streisand is over my right shoulder like a little angel, whispering positive things to me and telling me to be more foolish. And experiment, right? And experiment and leave room. And I'm not saying it's easy to do this. I'm saying you want to take a look at the price of this vow of never looking foolish is, and that you have to be the ultimate expert and you can never be wrong and you always have to be the be all end all. Some of the best mentors I've had, for which I've paid lots of money, will come in and say to me, I'm not the be all end all. You are. You're the be all end all. You're the ultimate authority. Your client is, your fan is, your follower is. And here's what I know, and here's what I can share with you, right? So giving yourself some room to make those mistakes and show up versus not show up, right? Like that's one of the big things that comes up with clients is, well, I don't want to show up because I don't want to look foolish. Like, what if my program doesn't sell? What if I, offer it again and nobody signs up? What if one person signs up? It's all information for you. It's all feedback that doesn't mean anything about you, right? I've launched things that have been sold out, and I've launched things that were total flops and nobody signed up. And some of that had to do with just a number of things, right? It didn't mean anything about me. And I've learned with my mindset to make it really, really strong and keep showing up regardless, right? And to allow my magical spirit to be part of this process, part of my business, part of what I do, and that it's not separate from my expertise, from my gifts and my talents, from my ability to get results, right? That you can be human and show up imperfectly and let go of this vow of never looking, always having to be the ultimate authority, always having to have all the answers, always doing everything right. Because that's exhausting, takes up a lot of energy, and kind of crushes your creativity, which is a big part of how you attract people and how you feel fulfilled, right? In terms of your levels of integrity and what you value. If you value creativity and you value authenticity, then allowing yourself to show up, however it might be, as long as you're showing up, is really, really important. And it's more important above all for you to keep showing up for yourself than it even matters for the clients and the followers, because it's a commitment that you're making to yourself, right? So that's the piece I want you to take away, is that we sometimes hold on to the skeptic really, really tightly, and that logical part of us really, really tightly. And it's not always the best thing, right? The skeptic is very close to the critic, which, sees one sign up for something and is like, oh, it's a flop, and just writes it off. Where to me, that's just mindset work. That to me is like, you just need more mindset work on that. And being, it's kind of preemptive to look at it that way. And so you want to take a look at the skeptic, the critic, and what's your attachment to this, writing things off for you. Well, that it makes like very broad assumptions. It gives up pretty quickly. It goes in at 10%, that skeptic, whereas, what I'm calling foolish, but it's really just, kind of like that childlike magical spirit that you have that just believes. That's like, let's just try it. Let's go for it. It's curious. It's funny. It doesn't take itself super seriously. And embodying that is going to make you a lot more money than embodying the skeptic, right? There's certain places, of course, where we want to use our discernment to build that wealth identity, and make good decisions for ourselves. And then there's places where we have to allow ourselves to relax. Relaxing is a huge underestimated piece to making more money. Definitely a huge block for me. Getting up in the numbers of where I wanted to be financially was about relaxing and trusting so much. And being able to face those parts of me that I felt like were looking foolish, showing up, wondering what people were thinking. All of those pieces were kind of a pretend me versus the real me. And I want you to start moving away from that pretend me. It's a lot easier to make money when you're in your real you. Sometimes that's part of the conflict of making money, is your consciousness isn't going to allow you to keep making money as the pretend you to the degree that you want. If you want that evolution and you want to move up in in scaling financially from a mindset perspective, the realer you has to come forward, right? Will the real, Agnes Kowalski please stand up, that type of idea. So I want you to think about, to what degree you're pretending to be you around your business, around what you think people expect, around the images, around the expectations, and how much of the real you is in there. And in the relationship with yourself, and there's deeper levels of getting more and more honest about stuff. And I think that's where a lot of the freedom and creativity gets let loose, and it becomes a lot more aligned to make money in an easier way. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you have not already grabbed my Subconscious Smackdown, please do so. I'll drop a link in the comments. PTP 2.0 is back at it this week if you're looking for some really, really good mindset work programs. This is the place to start. Okay, guys. 101 is also, I have a couple spots open, so let me know. Thanks for joining me. I'm Aggie K, Wealth Therapist. Sorry, nothing super foolish happened on this one, but believe me, it happens to me every day. Something dumb happens to me, or I say something dumb, or not the right thing, or not exactly how I wanted to say it, or not exactly how I thought it would come out. And we keep showing up, and we take the vow of commitment to ourselves versus the commitment to perfection, or to being the know everything person, right? It's more important to show up as you and make money from that place, because that's relaxing, and we want more of that. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Aggie K, Wealth Therapist. Mwah! See you on the next call.